Bigger environments, better VFX, more dinosaurs, more realism. Jurassic World Dominion could have been so good, if it hadn't been for the story. Dominion was a bit of a disappointment for the majority of Jurassic fans, but whilst there are many videos out there telling us everything Jurassic World Dominion did so badly, unfortunately, there aren't many giving credit to all those people who worked so hard to achieve what it did so well. Dominion had a tremendous amount of dinosaurs, 14 different species and 48 individual dinosaurs including Baryonyx, Dimorphodon, Microceratus and Lystrosaurus.
Looks good, right?
And that was just the practical puppets. Including the fully CG dinosaurs, there were a total of 38 dinosaurs in the movie. One of these fully CG dinosaurs was the Mosasaurus. An interesting thing about the Mosasaur's attack on a crab boat scene is that it did not use any newly shot footage. Instead, they drew storyboards for the sequences so they knew what the sequence needed to be. And then their editor, Erlene O'Donovan, went through 16 seasons of Deadliest Catch to find shots from the show that described the story in the storyboards. The boat that appeared in the film was the Saga, and Erlene had to make sure that the boat was shaking, rocking, and that the ocean was splashing in the right way so that ILM could do as little visual effects intervention as possible. In the end, there are only about 8 or 9 VFX shots in the sequence, where they had to add the Mosasaurus or some white water spray, and where they had to add the crab pot hanging over it. Rexy, the Jurassic Park icon, has been in all the Jurassic Park films, and her design has evolved throughout the years. But for this film, the VFX teams wanted to recapture her essence from the first film back in 1993. Using reference material from the 1992 ILM model and Stan Winston's original animatronic, they matched the shape, textures and lighting for their CG model, creating an almost exact replica. Oddly enough, when they compared it to the T-Rex from Fallen Kingdom, they found that their resurrected 1992 version actually looked a whole lot meaner. Another one of the meanest and also one of the biggest creatures that they had to deal with was the Giganotosaurus. Too big to be able to build a full puppet, the practical effects teams concentrated on just building its head and neck. However, they didn't want to do all this animatronic work to then have to replace it all with a CG version later in post. So they devised a plan of how the physical special effects rig could be puppeteered and how it could be moved around on set. And it was built in such a way as to have the same range of motion and the exact same pivot points as the CG version. So, for example, in this scene where they are hiding behind the car while the Giga stalks them at the outpost, the head is completely practical. And then the rest of the body was all extended digitally. In fact, the whole Giga sequence is an almost perfect combination of practical animatronics and digital augmentation. Another asset that was a combination of practical and digital was the Fairchild boxcar plane. The plane that appears in the film is mainly CGI because there have been no airworthy boxcars available since 1995. However, the takeoff scene in Malta was actually done using a scale model of the plane set on a tabletop with a camera 1.5 meters away, and the actresses were running on the airfield further off in the background 60 meters away. Although it may sound crazy, for the live action portion of the dinosaur chase in Valletta, Malta, no principal actor was present. In fact, none of the principal actors even travelled to Malta. All the shots in the sequence were filmed with stunt doubles. Chris's part was filmed in a blue screen studio in the UK, with Chris riding a motorbike on a huge treadmill that was about 6 meters long and 3 meters wide. The bike was secured to a fixed arm, so he could ride this bike on top of the rolling road and make it steer left and right, and really look like he was riding for real. In Malta, they scanned large sections of the city of Valletta with a LiDAR scanner and photographed it. They ran array vehicles with multiple cameras down every single street so that they could digitally rebuild all of the city streets that Chris was travelling along, in order to insert him back into the Maltese photography. For other shots, like this one here, they just digitally replaced the stunt driver's face with Chris Pratt's. When you compare both shots, you can see that, even though the head changes, the size and position of the arm and the body don't. And one final interesting thing that you possibly didn't know is that This shot here was actually filmed on an iPhone in the car of production VFX supervisor David Vickery after his drive home from set one day.